All right. Well, good morning, good morning, good morning, Atlanta, Southeast, East Coast, West Coast, wherever you are. Good morning. I am excited to be here, Sorrel. How are you this morning?
I'm doing awesome, man. I think you forgot the Central Coast.
Central Coast, West
Yeah, man.
Coast.
Those folks down in the Panhandle, Florida, Texas, Houston, Mexico.
Yes, got it. No, I did not forget them.
Good morning,
Sorrel,
everyone, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Sorrel. So today we're going to be opening up a question. We're going to be discussing a question or a rather than a question is a notion that it's critical for every entrepreneur and for every leader and for anyone who's up to creating goals in their lives, who's up to creating something. And the question is the number one pitfall about setting goals at any point in your life. Now, this is a good occasion to talk about this, given that it is the beginning of the year. And for the most part, most people at the beginning of the year, they do have this impulse to set goals. And they are critical. And I think that although the statistics are that 92% of the people never make their goals happen or something like that, although the statistics are that dramatic, if you will, I do think that people do get closer to the life they want because they set goals at the beginning of the year. Maybe they're not, a lot of people are not really committed. Or maybe they're committed. They don't know how to get beyond the commitment, if you will. Or maybe people, when they set the goals at the beginning of the year, they are too hopeful and they don't quite get what actually takes to take an idea to the to reality. However, there are those who do take the the 8 percenters who actually do take their vision to and their goals to fruition, to reality. And for those, there's a big pitfall. There's a huge pitfall in setting goals. And this is an aspect that Sorrel and I want to talk about this morning and allow you, goal setter, and people who are get their goals and they achieve their goals in their lives, allow you to have a new perspective around the possibility of achieving goals. Because, and here's why it's important, because most people do feel empty after achieving a goal. It's an interesting thing. It's a very
Hmm.
interesting thing that even though a lot of us are working really hard at achieving that milestone, the moment that milestone gets achieved, regardless of what it is, the experience of that person is of emptiness. It's like something like, well, is this it? Uh, is this is all there is? And naturally, they go, if they have this pattern, if you will, if they have this habit, they go into creating a new goal. But the sensation of emptiness and the sensation of dissatisfaction with oneself, most people are experiencing at any level after achieving a goal. So today we're going to talk about this pitfall about setting goals at any point in your life. And we want you to engage with this question in your listening in this context of inquiry, right? Not like looking for the truth, because you'll get stuck with looking for the truth, but in the context of really inquiring for yourself and seeing for yourself, man, can this be valid for you? That every time you have achieved a goal that you were proud of, whatever it is, whether it was buying your first house, whether it was buying your first car, whether it was getting your first nonprofit, whether it's achieving your first six-figure income or your seven-figure income or whatever that is, you'll notice that the moment you achieved it, there was a sense of emptiness. Like, is this all there is? And so we want to discover that together and not necessarily um, discourage you from setting goals. Not at all. Not at all. Setting goals is critical, but allow yourself to listen to this conversation to add to the great habit of setting goals. So I wanted to start the conversation that way, Sorrel, and discover together in this conversation together how this pitfall of setting goals, how it sneaks up on you and I, on human beings, on high performing human beings.
Yeah. Gio, I want to share a story of how kind of like how my life began after I came from Haiti. So I landed in Miami in 1977. And it's almost as if there's this goal setting things that descended upon me. Right. So as an immigrant, I had goals. I wanted a better life. And Gio, you are absolutely right. There's no way that I would be where I am today if I wasn't in the habit of setting goals. And what I'm sharing now, I think, fits right inside of what you're creating. So here I was in 1980, graduating from high school and setting the goal of going to college and achieving more. But this is what I did, Gio. Back then, the US News and World Reports report on better colleges and good colleges and what to major on was a big thing. And so I went and I was looking for which field of study should I go into so I can make the most money possible when I graduate from college. Like literally, there was nothing else but that goal. I went down the line and I said, oh, there it is. At the time, back in 1980, if you had an engineering degree and you graduated from high school, you were guaranteed to get a top paying job, the top paying job. Of course, I knew I didn't want to be a lawyer. I knew I didn't want to be a doctor. That takes too darn long. So I went for engineering. That goal got me through 4 years of college. And you're right. I did get a job, Gio, making what I thought I would make. And at the end of it, I felt empty. And I didn't know why. I didn't know why until I had a conversation just like this to distinguish the pitfall. So I wanted to say what I'm saying now to create for people that, I'm not special, you're not special. We're not having this conversation to set ourselves apart or to berate and diminish what goal setting is in someone's life, but to really deal with this thing. Setting goals does help me progress in my life. And yet there's a relationship I have to goal setting that leaves me empty at the end. What's that?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think anyone who's listening and really looking for this conversation for himself or herself, not to disprove the validity of it, but just to listen for yourself in those milestones you have achieved in your life, you'll notice that every time you get to the next milestone without looking at the pitfall, you might find yourself with more, yet still empty. And
it's like having more and then you have less.
Yes,
Even though you have
it's
more.
like having more than you have less. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, wow, I achieved this milestone, whether it was going to university, whether it was a particular job, whether it was the highest of my career and the highest position in the world in your career, or a significant income in your business, a 7-figure and 8-figure business. Regardless, one of the things that I have found for myself in my own life and in my opportunity to serve as a coach for many high performing, high producing individuals is that absent of catching the pitfall, they still achieve incredible milestones and their experience of life is empty. And I think anyone who's really listening to this call, you could see it for yourself. It's like maybe I shouldn't make this analogy, but I'm going to make it anyway. It's like getting married. Making the goal of getting ready, getting married can become very disappointing after you get married. Really disappointing. It's a whole new world that opens up for the experience for being a human being. And the goal of being married will not satisfy you. It's like entering a new, now we're starting to point to the pitfall, or how to get out of the pitfall, if you will. It's like the goal of getting married cannot be the goal. I'm going to say it again. The goal of getting married cannot be the goal. If getting married becomes the goal, then that person is setting up himself or herself to a massive disappointment. So that cannot be the goal. The goal becomes to enter a new realm as an experience for being a human being. You're entering a new world to experience being human. And then that will not disappoint you. It is a new world to experience being human. Same thing at work. If my goal is to get a particular promotion, the moment you get the promotion, and now you are overseeing a new department, and you're overlooking a new accountabilities and new processes, if you make that the goal, the moment you step into that office, that corner office, you're massively disappointed by the accountabilities and the pressure that it brings with all the chaos that the new position comes with. And then you and I will celebrate the 50%, 100% promotion in income for about 4 weeks. But then afterwards,
2 minutes. It sets in really fast.
It sets in really fast. I'm going to give 3 weeks around because there are certain parties, celebrations, phone calls. But then there's this massive disappointment of the pressures of the chaos that the new position comes with. And because we work with human beings are not going to surprise you from being jerks from time to time. So all of a sudden, you find yourself achieving this new goal and massively disappointed of the goal, of achieving the goal itself.
Yeah.
We're starting to point to the pitfall.
Yeah, and Gio, I want to take a moment and maybe begin to give language for myself to the pitfall I'm hearing in this conversation. So there is a difference between achieving the goal, like the milestone, which is making at the time X thousands of dollars per year. There's the goal. And then I think what I did back then is I mistook the goal itself for the real deal. And the real deal was who was I becoming in achieving that goal? And if I hear you correctly, there is not just value, but complete access to fulfillment in actually having that vision of being someone new, someone different, someone who's bigger, someone who's got more capacities. Who am I becoming by achieving that goal? So if I'm hearing you correctly, goals in and of themselves are means to an end, not the end itself. So you said something brilliant, right? Don't let the goal be the goal. And that's the
pitfall. That's the pitfall. So that's the pitfall. If we're going to go ahead and give language to the pitfall is to make the goal the goal.
Yeah. That's
the number one pitfall that anyone can make when setting goals in their lives. The number one pitfall is to make the goal the goal. It's a massive disappointment, a lifetime of disappointment at any level and at any contribution that person is experiencing right now. Disappointment in life, failure in life,
Yeah.
whether they are right now listening to this podcast in Bahamas holding a margarita. The experience of themselves is of disappointment, dissatisfaction, because setting the goal as the goal is the pitfall.
Yeah.
So then what do we do? What's the game? The game is to set goals as large and as big as you want them to be, that inspire you, that involve other people, that raise the level of the standards for other people, that makes your hair stand. But don't make that the goal. Make the goals, but don't make that the goal. Your goal becomes to be, like you're pointing to be excited about the person that becomes in the pursuit of that goal.
Yeah.
That's the goal. The goal is to become excited about the person that becomes in the pursuit of that goal. Because then you and I will begin to appreciate each of the challenges, the storms that the new goal creates. It's like you start appreciating them. You start seeing yourself as a storm creator. Like, oh, well, let me see what this challenge is bringing for me. Let me see how I can expand inside of this challenge. And then a pitfall or a breakdown becomes an opportunity, not a failure. And that little shift in mindset, Sorel, is what I have found to be one of the biggest things that I'm grateful for in my life, that I have been guided to make that mindset shift. And also, it's one of the things that I have seen in supporting our clients and the organizations we support in making that shift allows them to truly enjoy the massive breakdowns that are going to come with large goals. I mean, if you're up to something big, you're going to have big breakdowns, right? But most people are unwilling to set very big goals because they're scared of the breakdowns. But that only happens if you're making the goal the goal. But if you're making the goal the expansion of yourself, then bring them on. Bring them on. Bring down the breakdown. Bring on the whatever it's going to happen, the pitfall, because you want it. You naturally want them. You naturally want to wake up and reinvent yourself every day for this vision that you have, or this vision that a person has.
And I have you already know I have three sons, right? But at the age of 25, I did set a goal, and I'm discovering the difference. See, there's a big difference between me saying I want the job that makes the most money at the end of my graduation, and when I said I want to be a father. I didn't say I want to have a child. I said I want to be a father. And what came with that was having a son, three of them. And man, it wasn't easy sometimes. But that's what came with being a father. And given that I had my eyes set on becoming, growing as a father, all of it could be included. And I think that's what you're pointing to. So the goal was being a father as opposed to doing something called having a baby. There's a big difference. I'm seeing that right now.
Yeah, there's just a big difference between having a baby be my goal.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I want to have a baby and I want to have that to be my goal. Well, the moment that baby comes to this world, a massive amount of stress is about to show up. But if my goal is not having a baby, my goal is to step into the world of being a parent.
Yeah, experience the world being a
Experience the world of being a parent.
Yeah.
Then when that baby shows up, the never sleeping, the never eating, the kind
continual diaper changes,
the stretching, the relationship takes a huge hit that moment that baby comes, that everything that you like about your significant other all of a sudden you don't really like anymore. then all of those challenges, then they're in many ways easier to deal with than, oh, well, my goal was to have a baby. Well, then you're about to have a very rude wake up, right?
Yeah.
Because babies do come with a lot of things.
You know, that the having a baby as an example points also to what's at the end of that pitfall, if having a baby is the goal. Because the moment the baby happens, I'm done. Right? I had a baby, I'm done.
I'm done, but you're not done.
Right? But you're not done.
You're so not done.
Right? But so you get the nature of the pitfall is that if the goal itself is the goal, at the end of it, what's natural is that emptiness because you're done.
Because you're done.
Yeah. And so in today's conversation, Gio, what I'm discovering is that to have the goal itself be something that drives me in the direction of becoming or being someone I'm inspired to be. So whatever the goal is, be that.
Yeah, be who you become in the process.
Yeah.
Yeah, be who you become in the process. Make that the goal, if you will. Make the goal the expansion of yourself. You're living your fullest expression in the opportunity inside of that goal, not the goal itself.
Yeah.
So that's the pitfall, Sorrel, the number one pitfall that anyone can make when setting goals at any point in their lives. I hope this was a contribution to you guys who are listening. Leave us your comment, your questions, subscribe, and continue this inquiry in your own life with your own friends and in your own company. And by no means we're saying don't set goals. So goals are the compass that drives the opportunity of your future. You've got to have goals, but don't make the goal. Otherwise, you're in a rude awakening constantly of feeling empty in life. Well, we'd love to hear your comments, questions, Stan, Coach Ingrid, Virtue, Harumi. What are your thoughts? What are your questions? What's opening up over there? It's a different kind of inquiry. It's a kind of inquiry that makes you think a little bit.
Things that make you go,
Good morning.
Hey, Harumi.
Hi, Harumi.
Hi, can I just say one thing? That was very interesting because goal setting and the goal, we just aim for the goals. But here, it's not really aiming the goal, who you become during the process, right? It's a really mind setting. Yes, shifting. Yes, thank you. That was great. I liked it.
Thank you, Harumi. Yes, it's who you become. Exactly. Thank you, Harumi. Stan, we see your hand up.
Yes, and forgive me, I'm not on camera this morning, Masterminds Daily Huddle family. But thank you for this conversation, Gio. This morning on an hour call, which comes on just before you the Daily Huddle and ends when the Daily Huddle begins. We were talking about the habit of savings. We were reading Napoleon Hill's The Law of Success. And the third lesson that comes after self-confidence. Self-confidence comes after a definite chief purpose, chief aim, which is the first one, is the habit of saving. So the habit of saving develops in us, and we say, let's start saving some money. It's not the amount of money. So the goal necessarily, or the amount of money is not necessarily the goal for me, right? I may say, hey, I'm going to save $1,000. Maybe that's what I want my emergency fund to be. But it's not really the emergency fund, the $1,000, that's really the goal. The goal is really to develop the habit of saving. Because if I'm developing the habit of savings, I'm going to keep saving money. I'm going to continually do that. Because if my goal is just to save $1,000, I might stop saving after I get 1,000. So that's how I see how the conversation that you created this morning serves me. I give it a goal, $1,000, but it's not the $1,000 that's really the goal. The goal is to develop the habit of saving money systematically, continuously, even after the $1,000 has been reached. And this helps me to become a saver. That's who I'm becoming. The goal is about who you're becoming. That's what I get from you. And thank you.
Thank you, Stan. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for saying that. Yes, it's about becoming the savior, someone who saves. Yeah, thank you. Rashida, I think you were gonna go. I see your camera.
Grand rising, everyone. Grand rising. Goals, and goal settings. My goal are the universe and the cosmos have gave me mission, and completing that mission will be my goal. And why I say that is because I have a mission to get done. It's going to take me more than 36 months to get done. But starting it was one of those mindset and also a commitment to humanity. So despite of what the universe have gave me to fulfill, they also gave me goals, purpose, and also commitment. So this is something, and thank you so much, both of you guys, to able to emphasize and implement and the whole setting of setting goals. But it's nothing like, okay, with my project, I've put in the first stone for the building. It will be the goal, the beginning of the goal, but just seeing it materialize and seeing it fulfilling is where you know that you start the goal. When it's going to end is only the engineer who is putting their mind into it, going to get it done. But it's the beginning of that goal and getting it done and seeing it materialize and format in the shape that you want it. But I really like it because it's going to be something that I'm going to be looking forward to seeing that goal get fulfilled. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Rashida. Thank you. And both you and Stan are pointing back to what Gio is creating as the pitfall. The pitfall is don't make the goal the goal. So, Gio, what that brings me to is that when I make the goal, I actually set the goal without a context for the goal. And I leave the becoming to chance. So if I were going to create a step-by-step approach to setting goals to leave us with, begins with the pitfall. Don't make the goal. And begin by actually saying, who do I want to become? And then let that statement define goals that actually give me the opportunity to practice even today being that. Coach Ingrid, good morning.
Grand rising, peace, love, and light. It's so interesting because I was on the Mastermind Readers Book Club this morning. Then I was also on the Space in Clubhouse. And now I'm here and it's all interacted and talking about habits. What you just said, Sorella, about not letting the goal be the goal, and what Mastermind Stan also said, that is it. Like, okay, for the month of December, I did push-ups, right? Every day. But I missed 2 days. Started with 10 and added 1 each day. So I ended with 39 on December 31st in 2 sets. So now my goal is to be able to do 39 push-ups in one set. So I'm maintaining those 39 throughout. And I just wrote in my journal, let's see how long it's going to take me. So the goal is not just to do the 39 push-ups in one set, but to gain upper body strength or to regain, because I was once there, right? So it's all about regaining upper body strength and working, getting that pectorals popping. So the goal is not actually the push-ups, but the result of the push-ups, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that does make sense. And in the world of becoming and being, when you have upper body strength like that, who do you become for yourself?
Well, the bigger goal is of me becoming a strong future Ingrid that can carry my bags, carry my weight, be helpful to myself, I wanted them, without assistance in my youthful years to come. So that's the bigger goal. The bigger goal is to have stability, strength, strong bones, and be independent future Ingrid. That is the bigger becoming and why.
Yeah. And man, you start there, guess what? You don't stop after 30 push-ups in one set. You keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what's beyond discovering this pitfall, Gio. The possibility of being in a realm of possibility for being that is endless. In that space, you can set any goal. Yeah. Thank you, Ingrid. Well, Gio, don't make the goal, brother.
Don't make the goal the goal.
Yeah.
Be excited about who you're becoming in that goal, inside of that goal. All right, Sorel. Well, thank you, all of you, for being in this inquiry, in this kind of conversation that makes you allows you to think in a different world. It's I remember a long time ago I heard that the important thing is not the answers, the important thing is the question. And we hope that we left you with some good questions. Like they say in the metrics, it's the question that drives your life. So some good questions. I hope some really good questions left out of this conversation. All right, so we'll see you Monday. Happy New Year again. We'll see you Monday. And to have a renegade life and an awesome weekend, there are 8 tenets. And here we are. The first one, love. Love. Allow yourself to love. Love doesn't change anything, maybe, but it impacts everything. Love. Laugh. Laugh out loud. Stretch your cheeks. It makes you sexy. It helps you with the right chemicals. It gives you a bigger life. Stress less. There's only one life, really. Might as well. Stress less. Make it a game. Eat more plant-based. Now, maybe I'm going to say it this way, Sorel. Eat less processed food or no processed food. How about that? Eat no processed food as a challenge for 2025. Let's see what happens on the other side of that. Sleep more. 8 hours at least is critical to have a full life. Sleep more. Move every day. When you wake up in the morning, go for a quick walk. Right after lunch, go for another quick walk. Every day, do some walking. Move like Coach Ingrid is doing. Move more. Give what you have. Give all of it away if you can. You're not taking anything in the afterlife. Give your resentment away. Give your love away. Give your jealousy away. Give. And last but not least, check your assumptions. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. You know what Mark Twain says, Sorel? It's not what you don't know for sure that gets you in trouble. It's what you know for sure that just ain't so. Check your assumptions. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Have a great weekend.
Have a great weekend. Same to you.